Ladies and gentlemen, your new North American champion, April Fools.
All joking aside, folks, this is NXT.
Some of that.
Yeah, let's get on with this.
Let's get on with this show. This was a great show. It started off the way Jerry thought it was going to start off. Velveteen Dream versus Bobby Fish. By the way, I'm Stefan Osborne, host of What's NXT, joined as always by Jerry Slaughter, the General.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, wrestling fans.
Yeah,
I'm covering all the grounds.
Who's watching now and who's watching later.
Yeah.
I think most of will be watching later. Thank you, Colin, for watching currently. We have 2 other viewers, but it's okay. You don't have to join the chat room. We're all good. I don't have a remote to pull that back up. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
1 second, folks.
The one thing I forgot to do before we went live. I sat here for 4 minutes waiting on the... Should have went in at 5 after. Still would have had the same problem. Anyway.
Probably.
Velveteen Dream versus Bobby Fish. This was a weird match. Bobby Fish kicks Velveteen Dream off of the apron, and he lands awkwardly on his leg, and Fish works over his leg the whole match. Dream is selling it the whole match, but then at the very end, he just catches him real quick with the Dream Valley Driver, 1, 2, 3, gets the pinfall, and I'm like, what?
And this is after a pretty hard-fought match on both ends.
This went for a while.
It was a great match.
At least 2 commercials.
And the first thing I noticed when Velveteen Dream came out was he actually played to the camera versus playing to the empty crowd. We've got a lot of wrestlers lately have just been going out there and still posing and pandering at the crowds and whatnot. Even Matt Riddle, he was high-fiving, people that weren't even there.
Bro-fisting.
Yeah, bro-fisting them. And Bobby Fish, he and I were discussing this. He's not the weakest link of the Undisputed Era. He's pretty much almost like the second in command. So it only makes sense for Kyle O'Reilly to possibly face off against Velveteen Dream next, and that would round out the entire era that he's gone through to get to Adam Cole.
Yeah, but it seems like we're looking at the NXT Championship match being 2 weeks from now, and I don't know if we have enough time for that.
We may not, but at the same time, we haven't had anything announced yet either. And next week's going to be a big week. My
favorite part of this match was Velveteen Dream luring, as you said, Fish.
Yeah.
A punch to the face. He gets in the ring. I mean, he was dodging him outside the ring for a minute, gets in the ring, and then does that slide that he does where he pushes himself backwards on his knees, and he goes completely out of the ring, slides out of the ring, which brings Bobby Fish chasing him, and then he goes through the ropes just enough to catch a fist to the face, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great move. It was a great setup.
Other than that, very just basic regular match. I think at one point Velveteen Dream comes off the top rope, but it was with an axe handle to the outside.
Well, he did one to the inside of the ring and did one to the outside, but he really sold the knee throughout the entire match.
This is true.
This is probably the best match I've actually seen out of him since he's come back. There wasn't really a lot of botches on his part.
Yeah, but it was solid, but it was boring. Who cares about a solid, boring-ass match? Like I said, he just hits that DVD
I'd rather have a solid match. It'd be a little bit boring than a botch-filled match.
I would have liked your idea for the finish, the aftermatch, better if Bobby Fish would come out and put the knee bar on... Kyle O'Reilly, would come out and put the knee bar on Velveteen Dream, attack him after the match. No, instead we get a...
quick promo.
Yeah, a quick microphone promo, just nothing even really said. He's just basically continuing to challenge Adam Cole. He says, enjoy your video games, and eventually you're going to have to unplug and play all you want, because eventually he does say you're going to get worked harder than you've ever been before. And I'm like, okay.
Giggity.
Yeah, giggity. So let's move on. Video recap of Malcolm Bivens and The Future debuting last week, or maybe the week before, against Matt Riddle. Or Matt Riddle won a match.
It was last week. It just
gets beat down by these guys. They are not called the Future. I think I got this right. He calls them Induce Share. Mm-hmm. But I wrote it induce like the word induce and share like the word share. Yeah. I don't understand that. I like the Future better. Anyway, these guys are named Rinku and Theraf. Mm-hmm. And Malcolm Bivens is getting interviewed backstage by the new chick. Don't know her name yet, but she's got blonde hair. She's cute. Sure, whatever. Mm-hmm. He says they're collectively known as Bivens Enterprises, and they are waiting for the Bruiserweights.
Yeah. The Broserweights.
Broserweights, whatever.
You called them Bruiserweights last night, too.
Yeah, cool. Whatever.
But
Dexter Lumis.
Yay!
He is creepy as fuck.
And he's awesome. He's got an awesome logo.
And he is being introduced. He's got awesome music that never seems to have a tune. It just kind of is creepy. It's almost like the X-Files music. Mm-hmm. Creepy-like.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he is being introduced as coming from undisclosed location.
Yes. That's the new parts unknown, people.
He's facing Jake Atlas, who is making his NXT debut.
I've heard nothing but great things about him from Sidney Gonzalez and Chris Willis because he's out of the California indie scene. So.
Well, he stands no chance in this match, and they make it clear on commentary that Lumis is likely to win.
Yeah, it's psychotic.
But he has some good offense here and there, and he takes a beating well. So Let's see. Lumis, my favorite move here was this slip and slide punch. So he slides to the outside, but he does it face first, and then turns around and punches the dude who's like laying up on the middle rope, like the setup for the 6-1.
It was almost like a cane punch because he kind of uppercutted.
Yeah, this was cool. Let's see. He goes for a lariat that Atlas ducks with a backflip and then hits a neck breaker. I thought that was real cool looking. But eventually, Lumis hits a double throat chop, which always looks just
nasty. Gnarly.
Yeah, it always looks like it hurts. Like it makes you sit there and go, ugh, feel like you swallowed some peanut butter.
It's like somebody tightened the tie around your neck too tight.
Then he hits a side Uranagi reminiscent of a side effect, but he holds on and goes right into an Anaconda Vice and gets the tap out victory. So, and then just sits there and stares at dude for a while.
Well, no, initially after he tapped out, he was stroking his hair and petting him, which I thought was just creepy enough and weird enough that it's probably going to become a thing. It'll become a thing.
Hopefully it does. Hope him stand out.
But I'll say this about this match: at least Bugenhagen didn't job to him.
Yeah, thank God.
I want to see Bugenhagen again, but I don't want to see him lose his first match back to Dexter Lumis.
So we get our video promo for Killer Cross, and I think it's the same one that we saw the other night. And of course, that means we're going right into some talking about Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. In this case, they show a video cap of them battling through the Performance Center a few weeks ago, ending in Ciampa putting the what's it called? The
air raid?
Yeah, the air raid crash through the table off of that perch. I never know what to call it. They haven't given it a name yet. So that's what we get, and this is to let us know that next week is going to be the match. The Black Heart versus the Rebel Heart, they call it, and I'm calling it the Empty Arena match because it's funnier that way. So we get that next week. Meanwhile, we get Shotzi Blackheart coming out first for the 6-woman gauntlet match, the Last Chance Challenge, I guess. They are trying to get that 6th spot in the 6-woman ladder match that is going to determine the number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship.
We already pretty much knew who was going to win. We just had to see how she was going to win.
Jerry had this match laid out where everybody gets their own victory. And in all reality, Shotzi Blackheart goes from number 1 to the very end.
Dominant.
Holy crap.
And she did fantastic.
So she takes on Deonna Purrazzo first. I've got Deonna Purrazzo countering a corner bulldog and then hitting a pump kick into her face. That was cool looking. But Shotzi wins with a top rope senton for the pinfall. Then out comes Xia Li. A little bit of trade-off. We go through a commercial break, come back, and eventually Shotzi hits this execution. And then what we're calling a float-over double chicken wing submission. So she's got her seated, and she puts in a chicken wing behind her. But then buries her head in her neck and does a flip over and then bridges for a submission. And Xia Li taps out almost instantaneously to this.
Yeah.
And then out comes Aaliyah. Now, we thought we were going to get the match Xia Li versus Aaliyah. Jerry's order of the women coming out was spot on. But who won the matches? Like, it's crazy how weird his prediction ability is.
Half and half.
Yeah. Yeah, much like yourself, sir.
Yes, it is.
See, I've got Aaliyah hitting a running bicycle kick into the corner, gets a near fall out of that, but eventually Shotzi hits a tiger suplex and then hits what I'm going to call the vertilock. Because the way it looks, I know it's not under the armpits, but it's reminiscent of a vertebreaker, just on the ground. I'm going to call it the vertilock.
What I really liked about this variation of it, though, is that towards the end, when it doesn't look like Aaliyah was going to tap out, she actually grabbed Aaliyah's, slid her arms down, grabbed Aaliyah's arms.
Her wrists, and brought them up vertically. Mm-hmm. And it looked like it would be a much more painful version of the move. But she had already tapped out, and the ref at this point is like, let her go, she tapped. And, Shotzi gets the win here. And then out comes Caden Carter. And this was a little bit of a match. Let's see, we see a spot where Carter kicks Shotzi off the top rope and gets her draped into the middle rope, face out, and then hits a running drop kick to her. I think she got a near fall out of that, or it was a bicycle kick.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Anyway, eventually Shotzi hits, it was a running drop kick. Eventually Shotzi hits a running knee to her into the corner, and then a DDT out of the corner. I think she's standing on the middle rope at this point. And then goes up top for that top rope senton, gets a pinfall. So she's gotten 2 pinfall victories and 2 submission victories.
In less than a 20-minute span.
And then Dakota Kai comes rushing to the ring, and she's got Shayna Gonzalez behind her, or Reina, or Raquel. Something. Let's see. My favorite move out of Kai, you mentioned this to me, so I wrote it down. Kai does this slide to the outside and then trips up Shotzi and spins her around to where she's facing outwards on the apron. And then,
just a pump kick.
Yeah, does a running pump kick to her face.
Never really gets old. It never does.
Eventually, Shotzi hits a suicida to both Kai and Gonzalez on the outside, but then throws Dakota Kai in the ring, who immediately grabs the ref. And then Gonzalez goes to interfere, but Shotzi throws her into the ring steps. But when she gets back in the ring, Dakota Kai kicks her in the face and then hits the go-to kick for the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Dakota Kai moves on to the ladder match. We all knew that was going to happen.
That was going to happen, but we did not know how dominant Shotzi Blackheart was going to be.
They made Shotzi look awesome.
And yes, now I think Stefan actually gets the big deal about her.
I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this match, or that match, or whatever you want to call it, is going to happen next week. The 6-woman ladder match for the number 1 contendership for the Women's Championship. Io Shirai versus Tegan Nox versus Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae versus Chelsea Green versus Dakota Kai. Where the hell is Bianca Belair? We don't know. Anyway, this is coming next week. So that's going to be awesome.
Maybe somebody gets attacked before the match starts, and Bianca gets interjected in.
We get a 6-woman ladder match. We get an empty arena match with Gargano and Ciampa. I don't know what else we're getting next week, but I'm already hyped.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a great night.
Meanwhile, currently we get a video package for Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. This is going to happen at WrestleMania, so this gets spared the NXT main event treatment. But still looking forward to it, mostly because I want to see Rhea Ripley beat Charlotte Flair and have her moment as the champ. But also, even if Charlotte Flair wins, I won't be unhappy because that means Charlotte Flair is coming to NXT for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Kushida versus Joaquin Wilde.
The match we know it didn't want.
the throwaway match that didn't even end up becoming a match that we cared about after the fact. Kushida has done this before, but usually with opponents like Walter or somebody that brings the entertainment value of his match up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Even his tag partner, Alex Shelley, of the Time Splitters, a few months ago, I think, at this point, he made him look cooler, funner, whatever. This was just, oh my God, so hard to watch.
Well, basically, right when Kushida came out, I already had lost interest in the match, and then I hear that stupid horn of Joaquin Wilde, so I'm like, Joaquin Wilde, how'd you know?
I saw one cool move in this entire match. Kushida hit it, so I'll give him a little bit of credit. I'm calling it an inverted monkey flip that he does. So Joaquin Wilde's on his back, and Kushida's got both of his legs in a wishbone. And he jumps onto his stomach like for a double stomp, but instead he rolls backwards and flips Joaquin Wilde in the air and then lands it into an armbar.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
The tragic part about this match, and I'm going to say this right now, is the fact that we just got done
watching. As opposed to later.
We just got done seeing Shakti Blackheart go through like 4 or 5 people like in her match, and now she's actually living up to her hype. Sam Roberts made a point of saying a couple times that he still does not see what the hype is about Kushida.
Because he says he was hyped when Kushida got signed, but he's yet to see him live up to his potential.
Exactly.
Hasn't won a title, nothing, and I'm still not sold as him being entertaining in the ring.
No.
Honestly. Eventually he hits a hip toss into an armbar and gets a tap out victory, but no one cared. Like, it should not have taken him 12 minutes to beat fucking Joaquin Wilde.
Nope.
Should not have taken this long. This should have been a really quick throwaway squash match, but no. And then he shakes his hand at the end, like Joaquin gives a fuck.
Yeah, well, Joaquin's mad. He's holding his arms like, you hurt my arm. But okay, I guess we're cool.
So after this, we get a video recap of Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. This was 2 years ago at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3. And then we go into a video promo for Ciampa versus Gargano. This is Triple H doing the voiceover for this whole promo. And it's just hyping next week, that match.
Not that it needs much hype.
No, but this is the second time they've done it. So hopefully it has some payoff. Anyway, we're going to attempt to interview Joaquin Wilde here. He has a few words to say, most of which is like...
I'm a loser.
It's a pattern that he has lost since he has become an NXT superstar.
It's not so much a pattern as much as it's a losing streak.
Yeah. He lost again. And he doesn't get to say much more before, as Jerry called, before this even started, honestly. He knew it was happening. I figured, sure, why not? They're outside. Makes sense, right? Yeah. Big van rolls up, and a luchador gets out.
Two of them.
They force him. They tell him to get in the van. Get in the van, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he's not going to argue with no mask, some bitch. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I've learned as half of a black guy, you don't argue with masked people.
He gets in the van. They roll off. We get another one abducted.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that has a good payoff, honestly.
I'm thinking either it's the Cologne cousins, Primo and Epico, like collecting people, or it's them being taken to 205 Live, which that's fine too.
Zoe Faith 120 says, "Wow, so different with a shave. You should have seen him when he was babyface shaved. Like he went full on babyface.
Yep, completely gone.
Looked like a whole different person.
I look like 15 years younger and almost like a beluga whale. It was horrible."
This brings us to the main event. We've got Keith Lee defending the North American Championship against Dominik Dijakovic and Damien Priest. And this was a hell of a match.
Who didn't think it was going to be a hell of a match?
Right? I've got so many notes. So many cool spots. And it only started like halfway through the match, honestly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the shit I was just used to out of these guys. Jerry, you go first, though. What did you think about the main event?
It was an interesting dynamic having Damien Priest added into the mix. But, like, at the same time, Keith Lee and Dijakovic are the ones that still ultimately shined in it. Damien Priest nailing that crucifix bomb to the outside, like, from Dijakovic onto Keith Lee, that was pretty cool. But it looked like Keith Lee was going to catch him and do something with him. But then we got what you like to call what are you calling coining it now? The trip to
instead of a tope or a tope con hilo, a tripe con hilo,
because he trips.
He jumps onto the middle rope with one foot, but then trips over the top rope into a con hilo.
But we all can pretty much punch Stefan in the face at this point for changing our minds on the outcome of this match. Because no one got a point on this one. No one.
You are so welcome. Keith Lee retains. We did a prediction video for all of these matches that we were supposed to get for TakeOver that we are now getting on NXT television.
Mm-hmm.
I posted that this morning. And everybody picked Lee, and I went last. And I said, you know what? Lee is not meant to hold the North American Championship. He's meant to go after the NXT Championship. This is where he drops it and doesn't have to get pinned, and he can go after Cole. And suddenly everybody else changed their mind. One right after the other, a domino effect all the way down. So we leave the predictions video. None of us picked Lee. I'm like, well, at least I didn't lose a point without everybody else losing a point too.
Yeah. He took us all down with you.
You're all fucking welcome. Anyway, let's see.
I already kind of had it in my mind that like Priest was going to win, but it kind of sucks that he didn't.
Yeah, and it's not like I brought everybody on board with Dominik Dijakovic. Like, a couple of people picked Priest, like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
See, I've got Dominik Dijakovic getting Lee into an electric chair drop off of this sort of weird avalanche attempt. But he pulls him off, and Priest goes off the top rope, but instead of, a regular move, he hits a spinning heel kick off the top rope. This was cool. Let's see. He also hits a razor edge throw onto Dominik Dijakovic. He throws him over the top rope into Lee, who catches him, but then this is where he does that trippe con hilo. It's going to be weird to have to say that.
Trippe.
Let's see. He goes for a reckoning onto Dominik Dijakovic, but he counters into a time to fly, throws him into Lee, who catches him like for a power bomb, swings him into Dominik Dijakovic, knocks him down, power bombs Priest over Dominik Dijakovic like 4 times, and then spirit bombs Priest and gets a 2 count before Dominik Dijakovic knocks him off and breaks up the pinfall. That was super cool. Just the power of Keith Lee. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Priest goes for a top rope hurricanrana on Keith Lee, who blocks just long enough for, I don't know, a picture.
Yep.
And then somehow Priest still hits the hurricanrana, but doesn't get a pinfall. Let's see. Dominik Dijakovic comes off of that with a top rope elbow onto Lee. And then Dijakovic and Priest both get up and hit their respective moves. Dijakovic with the discus kick, and then Priest with that version of Trouble in Paradise that he hits. They nail him at the same time. That was super cool.
And they both land on Lee for almost a double pin.
They're the first ones up. For some reason, they both roll to the apron and then meet in the corner. They both go to chokeslam each other, and then Lee gets up, beats them in the corner, knocks their hands away, goes to choke them, brings them up to the middle rope like he's going to go for a top rope double Spanish fly. Instead, they grab him and double chokeslam him off the top rope. And Dominik Dijakovic, I think he knocks Priest off.
Yep.
And then hits a corkscrew moonsault, a double corkscrew. He turned twice.
Pretty much a red arrow.
Onto Keith Lee's face, gets a near fall. Meanwhile, Priest is outside grabbing that fold-away nightstick. And he comes in, goes to hit Dijakovic, who ducks, picks him up into the Feast Your Eyes, and hits it. But Priest has got that nightstick in front of his face. So, sucks for Priest, big time, because he just got that nightstick kneed into his face. But it also sucks for Dominik Dijakovic, who now has a bum knee. Keith Lee gets up, pounces Priest out of the ring. He goes over the top rope. He's gone. Turns around, puts Dijakovic into the BBC, the Big Black Cock. 1, 2, 3. Keith Lee retains the North American Championship. And that is the end of the show.
It was an excellent one, I think.
I am not mad that I lost that point. Nobody else got it.
There is really no getting mad after a Keith Lee Dominik Dijakovic match, and Damien Priest actually did really well in it as well.
Yeah, I am happy with the show, but that does bring us to the end of the main event. And here on What's NXT, we like to rate the main event using the General's 5-star rating system. Jerry, out of 5 stars, where do you rate tonight's main event?
Well, the main event itself, I give 4 1/4. Is takeover. It's definitely takeover caliber. This was a takeover match. So much so they actually put the takeover graphic on the screen. I didn't even see that until the end, really, because I was so busy watching these 3 wrestle. But the match had everything we needed in it. Bunch of power moves and a unique finish because we actually got to see the nightstick come into play just in a way that we didn't think we were going to get it. So I was actually thrilled with this match, but I'm going to give it an extra quarter. Not really off the back of an awesome show, but an awesome effort from Shotzi Blackheart. Because that match could just completely suck, could have been a complete throwaway, but it wasn't. It actually built her up as a legitimate threat for the women's championship, not really right now, but somewhere down the line. And I couldn't be mad about that match, so I'm going to go ahead and put it as a 4.5 for it.
Wow. Well, I would definitely call this match great, so that starts it at 4. And I agree. If any single match gave the main event an extra quarter star, it would be that gauntlet match. I really enjoyed it. And Shotzi Blackheart blew my mind.
Say it.
She blew my mind. So I just wish she would blow me. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at 4.25 just because, honestly, I think if this had been a takeover, this would have been a better match, longer match. If circumstances had been different.
I think the only thing that made it less was the fact that we didn't have the crowd. If we had the crowd...
You know what? Off that move that Keith Lee did where he powerbombed Damian Priest into Dijakovic 4 times and then still hit the Spirit Bomb, I'm going to bump it up and agree with you. I'll give it 4.5.
Woo!
So it was a great match. It really was. And considering the circumstances, seems a little difficult to put on a 4.5 star match. That's why I hesitate. But still,
like I said, if anything, the crowd probably would have made it that much better.
If the crowd had been there, it would have easily been a 4.5.
Oh, yeah.
So
maybe even starting out 4.5.
Maybe, depending on how good. Well, it's Full Sail. Of course, they'd be good.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to the end of this episode of What's NXT. Thank you for joining us live. If you have any questions for us to answer at the end of our plugs, drop them in there, and we will get to them. I think Colin's the only person in the chat room, really. But Zoe, if you have any questions, we will answer them. Meanwhile, join us tomorrow for the NXT party. That's where we review episodes of NXT UK. We will be doing the latest one. It's like 79... maybe 80. I don't know. Or 87 or 88.
I think it's 89 now.
Dude, it's getting up there. I skipped one, or redid one. We were one off and announcing them there for a while, so I apologize for my bad math, folks.
We're at 88.
I think it's 89 now. I think the last one was 88. We said it was 87, but I double did 86.
That's right, because I wasn't here for one of the weeks.
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow will be episode 89 of NXT UK, where there will actually be a crowd. It is a show worth watching, let me tell you.
And it's going to be the Battle Royal.
It's going to be a 20-man Battle Royal for the number 1 contendership for the NXT UK Championship, so
that's definitely worth watching.
Show. So
we're going to have Colin with us so far.
Watch it. Join us for the NXT party. If I can get this computer running, we might go live. We'll see how that goes, but we will try. Meanwhile, we should have Colin up here. We'll see if we can get somebody else. Who knows? Maybe it'll be you. Would you like to be on the show? Hit us up down in the comments. Leave your email address. That's how Chris did it. And now he has his own channel with like 1,500 subscribers.
Just about. 1,450 some odd subscribers.
Yeah. So imagine that. Imagine
and Colin's got like 219.
Yeah. Our babies are growing up.
Yeah, they're surpassing us.
So if you want to come be one of our babies, come join the NXT team. Have a spot of NXT with us. That's how most people get on the show. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter. At
Gerald_JSJ, my Facebook group RBAR, all capital, ARMBAR.
Exclamation point.
You gotta have the exclamation point now.
Gotta have it.
Colin always has it drawn out, and that's really cool too, but I'm really digging this, so I want to throw it onto a shirt. That'll be really cool. We also have the Aftermatch Wrestling Facebook group that you can join, and Aftermatch_Wrestling at Instagram.
And Aftermatch Rest on Twitter, we take the ling out of wrestling.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at osborne.stefan. You can find him on go ahead.
Him on Instagram at _gentleman_slaughter.
And we are on Patreon as well if you'd like to help the channel and can. Stefan R. Osborne, that's what you look up. But if you just have a few moments, the best help you can do is if you like the show, click the like button over here. Somewhere over here underneath me.
Somewhere.
If you like the show, click the like button. If you like all our shows, click the subscribe button. That'll subscribe you to the channel. That helps. If you would like to help our channel grow, click the share button. Share us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram.
Family dinner since you're stuck with them.
Yeah. Write it on the bathroom wall. See if Dad goes to check out our videos. Who knows?
Put it in his porn stash. I don't give a shit as long as somebody's watching our show.
So, I think that's all the plugs. Click the bell. if you want to see us go live next time. If you missed us this time and want to join us next time, click that bell. It'll give you a notification on your phone and it'll let you know.
Not sure if I'm going back to work next week, but if I don't, we'll be here at the same time.
Otherwise, it'll be Thursday morning. Either way, it's always an unreasonable hour. Meanwhile, for the gentleman, Jerry Slaughter, I am the Wizard of No DQ, Wiz Fresh, Stefan Osborne. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you in NXT time. Oh, yeah, that's right. We met Finn Balor once.
Yeah, we did. Totally.
Yeah, just